So, hi everyone. Today we have Shyam Mishra with us, who has recently scored 705 on the GMAT Focus Edition, which is a 99 percentile. This is a fantastic score, and I'm sure it would have taken a lot of effort and time to get to this point. We have him with us, and he will be sharing his own experience in his own words. And I think we can get a lot from the same. So, hello, Shyam. How are
Hi.
you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think a lot of students would be excited to know how your journey has been. What are you feeling right now? I think that's the main important point. And just give us a gist about the overall preparation and how you did things.
Yeah, I will tell you all the things. So basically, I'm now working as a assistant manager in Punjab National Bank. So I had cracked the PO exam in the year 2015, and in the year 2016, I joined the bank. So my mathematics, that quant part was very good. So I didn't have to work very hard in quant. And another thing was that I had taken the course in August of 22. Okay. But in 22, I couldn't make it due to some issues. And 23 was again a very bad year for me because that office work environment was very toxic. Twice I slotted my GMAT exam, but I couldn't attend it because both the times actually I was not in a proper mental state of mind.
Right.
So that entire 2023 year was jinxed. Okay. But in 2024, I got a very good posting, okay, where I could shell out 3 hours from my work commitments.
Makes
It
sense.
was a 10 to 6 job, but 3 hours I could manage in between.
Hmm.
So that 3 hours added to another 2 hours of preparation at home. So that total four and a half to 5 hours I prepared. And for 4 months, close to 4 months, I prepared, 4.5 months, you can say. And then on 10th of May, I took the exam. On 13th, I got the final score, official score.
So in verbal particularly, what was your experience? What did you face issues with? And what material from top did you use to get through it? And how did you get through it?
Verbal, I stuck a fee. The best thing in verbal is that I took the most time in verbal, to be very true. Okay.
Right.
So in verbal, the best thing is that octave works. Okay. So
Hmm.
that verbal, it is elimination. Okay. So out of 5 options, 3 option anyone would be able to eliminate. So
Right.
that remaining two, it is like 50 is to 50, like KBC kind of thing, kaun banega crorepati type of thing.
Okay.
So once a person starts solving a verbal question like any other mathematics question or quant question, then he will be able to slog it out. Okay,
Right.
but that slogging out, it takes some time. It takes a fair deal of practice.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So, what
And
material did you use to, get through those problems that you're facing?
all the top material only I used. Okay, and
Hmm.
means for the first earlier in an earlier attempt, what the fault that I committed was that for the first 100 questions, I didn't prepare a Excel sheet. Okay, Excel error sheet. Okay,
Error log. Yeah.
error log. So now I did was that I prepared a thorough error log. Okay, I reprimanded myself wherever I got wrong. I said that look, Duffer, you need to change your way of thinking. You need to
Right.
change it, and I prepared a A4 sheet also. Okay,
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
for I wrote it. Okay, for
Right.
what you write it with your hands, it gets etched onto your mind.
Right.
And then in the exam, that left brain, right brain keeps you get going, and
Yeah.
then you're able to do the right thing. So
Makes
that
sense.
worked out well for me.
Right. So, the error log was your game changer in
Yeah,
verbal.
error log was my game changer. In an earlier attempt, I didn't do that. So that was the
And did you use the error log all across the three topics, quant, verbal, and DI?
in quant I didn't use. To be
Right.
very true, in quant I didn't use. In DI I used partly, not entirely.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
And but in verbal, I used it 10%
Right. Right. Right.
because that was the thing that could have that made me what do you call mm, that made me fail through. Otherwise, I would have been lurching somewhere.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. So that's quite reassuring, honestly. Did you use any material outside of the top material?
Outside top, it is not at all required because almost all the questions they are covering. Okay, so
Right.
outside top, I don't think anything is required.
Right. So the top material was quite sufficient for you. And now let's go on to the DI section. Now, as the story you told about verbal, can you give
Mhm.
your experience with the DI one as well?
See, DI is the what you call. I would like to explain it mathematically. DI is somewhere the intersection between verbal and quant. To be very true. Okay.
Right.
So once verbal and quant is done, then only one should attempt his or her hand at DI.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
but my theory is that be proficient in verbal and DI first, then be proficient in verbal and quant first, then attempt your hand at DI.
Right, makes sense.
Because and DI means nothing. With DI, everything is almost, if you verbal and quant, if one is thorough with verbal and quant, then DI is not that tough.
Right, that makes sense.
But then being thorough with verbal and quant is a prerequisite for getting along with DI.
So it's sort of like you learn the storytelling aspect from the verbal or the grasping aspect from
Mhm, mhm,
RC and everything. And then you
mhm.
learn the logic mentality from quant, and they sort of combine and intersect in this particular
Yeah.
section, right?
And see, if verbal and quant is good, then DI it automatically one is able to sail through.
Right. So did you feel that DI was something like a mystery section, a very scary section? So people are quite, because DI is obviously new in terms of the separate section that they have created. Did you feel any fear towards it, or did you sense
See,
anything?
out of DI, almost close to seven questions are from DF only. So,
Right.
like I said, that if quant is good, then DF will normally be good. Then that seven question will be sailed through.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Then the remaining 13 questions, if you do a breakup of that 13 questions, then close to three questions are critical reasoning type only.
Right.
Okay. For that 10 questions, you are able to sail through. Now the remaining five questions or six questions, that is proper statistics. Okay.
Hmm.
So largely it can be managed. It
Right.
can
So
be
it's
managed.
nothing too scary, nothing to be
Nothing too
worried
scary.
about,
No,
kind
no,
of a thing.
nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. And it
Right.
is quite doable. Only thing is that one should not to bring any gray areas in mind that yeah, if this, that, blah, blah, blah. It can be done and it can be aced in a very picture perfect manner. Only thing is that one should maintain his or her calm. Initially, one may get what you call, one may not be very comfortable with it,
Hmm.
but then it is nothing of that sort. Means once you get on the path, once you get to that tracks, you are able to go through it.
Right. So you're kind of saying that don't bring any preconceived notions. Just come, put in your genuine efforts, believe in what top is telling you, and you'll just sail through it.
Yeah. The only thing is that you may have to rewatch the video many a times.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
That's the till you get the concepts right, right? So
mhm.
you might need to rework a bit because that's your grasping ability. You might need to understand things maybe twice, but once you get it, then it's easy to get through. So that's
Yeah.
the point. The amount of effort that's required at any point in time. So now I'd like to talk a little about resources. The one thing that signature that we provide is the top mocks. You're saying you did not give as many mocks, but did you utilize the portal in any manner? Maybe sectional test, topic wise test, something like that?
I'm sorry, this was the biggest, what you call, biggest error that I had committed in my preparation, that I didn't utilize that mock test portal at all. Because
Right,
I had a scarcity of time. See, for any public sector banker, you get 4 off on Sundays and 2 off on Saturdays. And
right.
many times that 2 off on Saturday, in one of the off Saturdays, you are called to work. Okay.
Hmm.
So I didn't have that luxury that time luxury to utilize that portal.
Makes
So
sense.
after getting my official score on 13th, I had been taking a rest, to be very true. I didn't work on a resume, although my sister and my colleague, they told me that you start working on the resume part of it, but
Right,
I'm quite lax at this point of time.
right.
But
Makes
I will start it in the right earnest. Okay, I have got Audrey's mail ID also. I need to mail him the resume and my profile and all that.
makes
But
sense.
I shall probably do it in the coming 2 holidays that are in continuity,
Right.
starting from tomorrow.
Cool. So what you are suggesting to the student is that if you have the time, and even if you don't, at least give some mocks, right? Figure out time to give a few mocks so that you know what you're coming across and
At
what
least
you're
four
fighting.
mocks if should one should at least
Four
four.
mocks at least one should
At
give
least
in
one
your
should.
experience. Right.
At least
Okay.
one should. Because
Right.
that will clarify your doubt. That will make you stand that how much you are below the water and how much above the water.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
4 mocks I would recommend from my personal point of view.
Right. So, if you had not given any mocks, right, how did you manage yourself on the exam?
I
Because
will tell you.
usually
I will.
people face
uh,
issue with time management, test
uh,
anxiety, a lot of things
Yeah,
come into the picture,
yeah.
right? So, what
Uh,
happened in your case?
So I did one thing. I had purchased a 185 rupees stopwatch. Okay, and then I used to do it. Just I used to do it. If you want, I can show you that stopwatch also.
Right.
185 rupees stopwatch. That only I used it. Okay.
So if
Right.
you did not use the mocks, you timed yourself while you were
Yeah,
practicing.
yeah, yeah,
So you
yeah,
had a
yeah.
very strict time limitation to yourself,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Because in the office hours, I couldn't take this laptop with me and all that. Okay,
Right,
but
right.
that stopwatch I could have taken because it was a square kind of thing, priced
Yeah,
at 185 rupees, and I could carry it in my pocket and all that. So that was
makes
the
sense. So
best part.
if you could not find the time to give the mocks, you figured out to create a mock like situation and give the sections as an
Largely, yes. That
yeah.
whether I'm able to do it within a span of 2 minutes or not.
Right.
Okay.
So I think what you followed was, as Sandeep also says, that you should have a 2 minute limit on any question. Two and a
Mm-hmm.
half is like the barrier, after which you just leave
Ultimate
the question.
maximum. Huh.
Yeah, ultimate maximum. 2 minutes is the ideal time. And
Mhm.
second, that even when you're practicing, time yourself so that you're
Mhm.
always ready for any sort of a challenge
Yeah,
that
yeah.
comes across.
Time management is very crucial. Okay, so that, like I said, that at any point of time, even if
Hmm.
what you call, even if you are rock sure that you will get the answer and all that, don't stretch yourself beyond 3 minutes at the maximum. It can be suicidal.
Right.
Suicidal, you can take it under inverted commas. Okay.
Makes sense.
For any question, don't take it on your ego. Okay, because ego kills. Okay, it seldom pays. Okay,
So
so just mark it off and just move ahead.
your
Okay.
aim is to get a good score, not answer all the right
Not to
questions.
answer all the questions correctly. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. Makes sense. Makes sense. So that does make sense. Another thing that I'd like to ask is test anxiety. You are given no marks. You definitely timed yourself, you figured that out. But
Yeah,
did you
yeah, yeah.
face any
Mm.
test anxiety on the D-Day, or anything that you felt that I could have maybe, gotten a bit more experience around this to handle this?
A little bit text anxiety I did have had. Okay, but
Hmm.
but then it was okay. Means I was able to. Okay,
Right.
a little bit text anxiety I did have had. I won't say that I was bereft of it entirely, but
So you're a bit nervous, but at the end of the day, you would even suggest to people that bringing your confidence with you will
mhm.
really help you stay calm and give your best.
Yeah, that's what. And I would say that at least if you can't give four mock tests, at least give two. Okay, that
Hmm.
will lower the anxiety level to a very large extent.
Yeah,
So there I had,
you know what you're facing, kind of a thing.
yeah, yeah, because you know that where you are going to. Okay,
Yeah.
but so that error I had committed, and that was the only blunder that I had committed.
No, but you
Largely,
still got a great score, right? I'm sure that you could have improved it further, as you are mentioning, right?
yeah, yeah.
But this is a fantastic score considering you're not given any mock. So that was technically the first ever test experience of the GMAT that you ever had, right? And
Yeah,
still
yeah,
you got
yeah.
such a fantastic 99 percentile. That speaks volumes of how much you would have prepped and put your effort behind it. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's really something, man.
And
Uh,
my standard time, I would say, is see, since I had been working for the past 10 years, so I couldn't put that much effort as a young guy would have put, say, a 22-year-old guy.
right, right, right.
So there, I would say that if you are able to if you are able to study for 4 to 4.5 hours a day for 4 months, then that is the span of this examination.
That
Prep
makes sense.
span.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A
So
standard prep
So what I
span is
am
this much
taking as
long.
a summary from this is that when you're at the 99 percentile and you need the final push, the top mocks, the top marathon material, all of that kind of a thing that could get you there, right? So that's your point of
Yeah,
view.
yeah. See, top material is more than sufficient. Okay. And
Hmm.
if you do each practice question thoroughly, and if you are able to get to that, what is the gist of the question and where does the examiner wants you
Hmm.
to fall, if you are able to read the mind of the examiner, then that top material is more than sufficient. Okay. Other
Makes
than
sense.
that, nothing outside is required.
Right. That makes
Because,
sense.
because see, in critical reasoning also, he have demarcated each and every topic. Okay,
Hmm. Yeah.
right from beginning to the end, he has demarcated each and every topic.
Hmm.
So beyond that, nothing is required. Okay.
Yeah, so you compartmentalize everything and then you just focus on one of this thing. Like you have every topic under every section, and then you're attacking those particular topics because of which you have
Hmm.
mastery on those and hence mastery over the whole section. It's
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of that what helps you, right? Makes
yeah.
sense. So now the
Another thing I
main,
would say is
yeah,
that error log is mandatorily required for verbal.
hmm,
Mandatorily required. Okay.
right, right,
For the first 200 questions, if you are able to jot it down on an A4 sheet paper or a notebook, that why option A is not the right option or why option B is not the right option, and if you are able to write the reasoning of it, then that is more apt. And if you are able to do both the things which I did, then that is the best part of the story.
Right. So just start when you start preparing. Start your error log the day you start preparing for the G.
Yeah, yeah. For verbal, you should. Verbal one should.
Right.
That is mandatorily called for.
Right.
Okay.
That makes sense. That
That
makes
is the one thing I would like to emphatically tell to any aspirant, that for verbal, error log and writing on the piece of paper, both is required.
Makes sense, makes sense. So let's just go to one important thing that a lot of people share with you. One element that you were working while you were going through this whole preparation, right? So you said that you were able to figure out 3, 4 hours, but I think if someone loses a touch of them or studying, let's say they have a gap of 3, 4 days, they might lose that touch or something like that. So being consistent is what has been a key element to a lot of people's success in the past. What has
Mhm.
been your case? How did you manage time around that, around your preparation while working? And yeah, you can just tell us how it has been for you.
Yeah, I will tell you one thing. So, first of all, what I did was that I got these things. I got a printout of that PDF printout of that uh,
Right.
A4 material. I got a PDF printout of that top material. Okay, and I carried it with me. Along with that, what I had, that stopwatch timer was with me. Okay,
Hmm.
so in the office, in this posting was a very good posting which I got since 5th of January of this year.
Hmm.
Okay, so from 5th of January till close to 6th or 7th of May, I would have prepared. Okay.
Hmm.
So these 4 months were the most crucial months, okay, that I
Hmm.
was able to dedicate fully.
Right.
For a 4 months, I was not able to study entirely. I won't say that. Even on holidays, I was not able to study entirely. Okay.
Right.
So if someone says that I won't study for a very prolonged period of time, and then all of a sudden I will take 15 day leave and study in that duration, so that's not going to work. So it
Right.
has to be a day in, day out basis.
Hmm.
कि 4.5 घंटा मुझे देना ही देना है, by hook or by crook.
Consistency is
Yeah,
important. Very
consistency
important.
is needed. Maybe if you are not able to give that, see, maybe some days there would be off days, or maybe your mood may not be all right, or you would have some scuffle with somebody. So
Yeah.
that day also you give at least 2 hours. If you are not willing to put pen to paper, then at least you watch the video. That much is doable.
Right. Right. So you have to put like, prioritize studying over everything. Like you might, there are off days for everyone. That's fine. Right. But
Mhm.
important thing is to stay in touch.
Stay in touch, yeah, 24/7. That should be the ultimate goal, that एक भी दिन मुझे इससे पीछा नहीं छुड़ाना है.
Right,
That's
and figure out ways, right? As you said, you can't carry your laptop, so you took a printout, you took a stopwatch, right? So
Mhm.
it's all about figuring out your way, not having excuses to not study, right? If you
Yeah.
want to score, you have to be dead serious about it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense. And I think that's quite true. And, it's very motivating as well because all the student success, all the, 99, 100% of students that we have seen, they
Mhm.
have had some really harsh conditions under which they have to study. And even, in fact, all of them figure out their means instead of giving
Mhm.
excuses, how can we do this, figuring out, maybe I'll leave a day or two and then I'll continue. They figure out a way to at least give 1 or 2 hours to just stay in touch so that
Yeah, that should be the prime aim. Okay.
yeah, right. So
That
that
should be
does
the
make
prime
sense.
aim.
So on that note, let's just summarize it all by two things, right? Uh, what advice, what advice would you give to students who are currently studying or who wish to take up the GMAT? What are your do's and what are the don'ts that you would very much highlight to all of them?
Yeah, do is that be consistent in your preparation. Okay. If you are, do it, give it a single shot and do it in that one shot. Okay. Don't prolong it, because in my case it got prolonged because 2023 was a very bad year for me. I had a psycho boss above my head. Okay. So I couldn't concentrate at all.
Right,
So, but whenever you get the apt time, make the most use of it. Okay, because no one knows that what's going to happen tomorrow.
right.
So that thing I would say, and another thing I would say is that be consistent in your approach. So
Hmm.
if you are like Sandeep sir had once said that for Shah Rukh Khan in Om Shanti Om, he would exercise, even if he would exercise for an hour, leaving everything aside. Okay, so
Hmm.
leaving everything aside, at least put pen to paper for at least an hour and a half. Okay,
Hmm.
in verbal, error log is a must. Okay. For the first 200 or 250 questions, it is mandatorily required at all cost.
Right.
Okay. Without the error log, verbal is not, if you are not going to get it through.
You won't get anywhere without it.
Yeah. That is the rock sure thing.
Hmm.
And DI is not, don't create a hoax around DI. Okay. DI is quite doable, quite achievable.
Hmm.
These are the five key takeaways that I would say.
Right. So be consistent, be disciplined, have a error log, and don't worry too much about the error, right? And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I'll add one from your side based on this conversation is definitely give mocks on from the mock portal.
Yeah.
Because
Please
that,
do from that I had committed an error. Please
yeah,
don't advise anyone or any other person not to commit such an error. Please do give mock test. At least 4 mock tests, 2 mandatorily required. Okay.
right. That does make sense. And I think a lot of students will be able to, make use of this advice. It has been in line with what Sandeep has been saying over the years, but looking at someone who has done it, was achieved using those principles, right? It's
Mhm.
really reassuring, and I'm sure you will have that impact on many stories that are to follow soon.
Again, I would say that don't rely too much on mock also. Though beyond 4 to 10 is more than enough, but even
Right.
2 mock will do also.
The point is about mock is to understand where you're going wrong, right? Till
Yeah.
that point, you should definitely give
And get
this.
a feel of the exam. Other than that, it's not okay.
Right.
Because at the end of that day, it is a cumulative set of questions only. Beyond
Right.
that,
So
there's nothing
don't
more.
worry too much. Be confident on the exam day. Whatever you have done is going to help you at the end of the day. It
Yeah.
has gotten you somewhere and you will get somewhere. That's the
Mhm.
point of it all. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your plans now? Like which schools, any schools are you targeting or anything, or are you planning to apply this fall?
So actually, I had called, what is that? Nakshita, I don't remember name. Nishtha, I don't remember that name.
Yeah.
Next, I will see in the mobile. Wait, allow me. Yeah, her name is Natasha.
Right.
Yeah, I had a word with Natasha. So she told me that right now only I can apply in all the Spanish schools only. That like I can apply in IE University and all those.
Right.
But then, considering all the things, return on investment and everything, I think it would be wise to apply for INSEAD. Okay.
Right. Makes sense.
INSEAD in the January session, I would like to apply. Other than that, I would like to apply for LBF, and I don't know whether Ivy League because I didn't score very well in my BE. Okay.
Right.
I studied at MIT Manipal Institute of Technology, Manipal University, but
Right.
my BE CGPA is very bad. It is 6.27. Okay,
Makes
on a
sense.
scale of 10. So I don't know whether that would be it would be an impacting factor only. Whether
Right.
I get any Ivy League college or not, I doubt. Okay.
Right.
Then
Makes
I have 10 years of work ex under my belt. So let's see how it works out.
Definitely, that makes sense. And I think NCR and all those are pretty great schools. They are at the top ranks globally right now.
Mhm.
So they're definitely worth applying to. And, they're great return on investments. And more than that, I think it's the experience. The
Mhm.
experience that the college provides you and the course provides you with. And with all these top schools, that's very much the same. And you will get the best of all worlds for sure.
Do I stand a chance of getting to Berkeley or Yale? Just I'm asking casually.
Can you go again, please? I didn't hear you.
Do I stand a chance of getting admitted in Berkeley or Yale?
I think the best advice around this author can provide you with because
Mm,
he has been in the field for very long
mm,
now. So you
mm.
can do a simple thing and reach out to him on mail, and he will definitely have a conversation with you and help you out around this.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, Sham, this has been a really great conversation. I'm sure a lot of students will be able to take a lot out of this.
Mm,
And as I said, a lot of success stories that will follow this will surely take inspiration from this one. And all the best for the future. And if you
yeah,
need any
thank you.
assistance at all, top 1% is right here. If you wish to reach out to Audrey, as I mentioned,
Mm,
definitely go and he will provide you with all the insights that you require. Other
okay.
than that, man, congratulations once again and all
Yeah,
the best
thank
for
you.
the
I'm
future.
beholden. God bless.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.